The candidates making their final pitches, so how will it all end? Here to weigh in, Democratic Ohio State Senator Capri Cafaro and GOP strategist David Avella. Thank you both for joining us. The day is finally here. It is Election Day. We made it.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, so I want to ask both of you, what's going to happen? Easy question, right? Capri,
sure.
Start. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, you know, I really think that we're in a situation where we don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. I will tell you, this is the first time in 12 years that I'm not on the ballot myself because of term limits. I've never been so nervous in my life. I think that we need to look very closely at North Carolina. I believe North Carolina is actually going to be this year's Florida. I also think Florida is going to be this year's Florida. Both of those states are incredibly close. You have high Hispanic turnout in Florida. You have lower African-American turnout in North Carolina. Both states have United States Senate races. So those are the two, along with New Hampshire, Maine 2nd Congressional District, and I believe Nebraska, too, as well, are the ones to look at.
And we've had some results already come in from Nebraska. David, what do you think? We've got 15, electoral votes in North Carolina, 29 in Florida. How do you think it's going to play out?
It's going to end not in Capri's home state of Ohio.
You are correct.
The race, the bellwether state, is going to be Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And that should Donald Trump get a victory there, he is well positioned to ultimately get the electoral votes he needs. And the fact that Hillary Clinton spent last night in Philadelphia and spent time this weekend in Pennsylvania says everything you need to know about this race. That Democrats a few weeks ago or months ago were crowing that, oh, we're going to put Georgia in play, and oh, we're going to put Arizona in play. And now Democrats are in states that should be their base. That ultimately Republicans now are the ones on the offense. And as you've seen in the last couple weeks, it's why the U.S. Senate races have all tightened and now favor Republicans in many of the most competitive state U.S. Senate races.
Yeah, 20 electoral votes in Pennsylvania. But I also want to ask you both about Michigan, because we had Donald Trump, Capri, in Michigan tonight, Grand Rapids.
All the way, the last frontier, the last event for Donald Trump. And then we also saw the president, actually, in Michigan as well. The interesting thing about both Pennsylvania and Michigan is that neither of them have early voting. And so that is why I think that we're seeing a lot of the principals and the campaigns invest their resources and show up in both of these states. Donald Trump is going to need to have a victory in one of these places, I think, to find his path to 270.
Is it going to be a long night, David? What do you think? Long night, early night?
It's going to be a long night, in part because there is record turnout occurring all across the country. As you look at these early vote numbers, we're going to have the highest popular vote and probably the closest popular vote that we've ever had. And it also means the impact of that is going to be that we're going to have a divided nation coming out of this. And we're going to need either one of them who win a unifying message to help bring the country together and do what needs to be done to create jobs and make America safer.
Yeah, create jobs, #1 issue for most folks as they head to the ballot today on Election Day. And we will have all the results right here for you on Fox News, so stay with us throughout the day and the evening. Thank you both for joining us, Capri, David.